What if I told you that DoorDash just dropped a bombshell that's going to affect every pro shopper out there? On December 8th, just a couple days away from now, the rating threshold on original items found is going from 92% to 96%. Some of you guys already have this in your market, but it's going to even more. That's right, it is 4% tighter than before. But before you panic, there's actually some good news buried in here that could make your life easier. Let's break down exactly what's changing, what Pro Shopper even is if you're new to doing this, and most importantly, how you can protect your status starting right now. I'm Kim. Welcome. I have been doing DoorDash for over 7 years. I'm now close to 19,000 DoorDash deliveries, and I like to share my experience and my knowledge so you can earn more. First, let me explain Pro Shopper for anyone who's not familiar with this. So this is a DoorDash shopper program that gives you priority access to some of the highest paying shop and deliver orders. We're talking about those premium grocery batches that can actually make your time worthwhile. To qualify right now, you need a couple of things. You need a 92% original items found rate. You need a 99% total items found rate, a good customer rating, and a couple of other little metrics that I'm going to actually post here so you can actually see them before I go down through each one. But the main ones are original items found and total items found. The original items found metric, that's the percentage of items you deliver exactly as ordered, no substitution, no free refunds, and it's based on your last 40 shop and deliver orders. The benefits are real. You get first dibs on those juicy orders before regular dashers even see them. In competitive markets, this can be the difference between making $20 an hour or up to $35 an hour. I'm talking about seeing some of those $45 grocery orders for 3 miles. I recently had a $75 order. While non-pro shoppers are stuck with some of these $12 orders going like 8 miles. The priority access is everything in saturated markets. And here's what a lot of people don't realize. Pro Shopper isn't just about seeing orders first. You also get access to larger batch orders that DoorDash doesn't even show to regular dashers. It might not be a good thing though, because you might see 50 items, 80 items in a run, but they could pay $60 to $80. Those orders are Pro Shopper exclusive in most markets, but here's the catch. Maintaining that status is about to get significantly harder, and if you lose it, you're back into the regular dasher pool fighting for scraps. That's why understanding these December 8th changes is absolutely critical to your income. Now, for me, Pro Shopper just came to my market yesterday. That's how far behind my market actually is. But I learned a lot in just doing the couple shops between yesterday and today, which we'll get into a little later. But let me know, has Pro Shopper come to your market? Has it been there for a while? Have you already seen the increase in your original items found? Let's kind of get the comment section started with who has it, who doesn't, and were you affected by these changes yet? So what's changing on December 8th? 2 major things. One bad, one actually pretty good. The bad news is your original items found is jumping from 92% to 96% in some markets. That means out of 100 items, you can only miss finding 4 original items instead of 8. That's 50% reduction in your margin for error. If you're doing a typical 25 item order, you can only miss 1 original item and still stay on track. But here is the good news. DoorDash is burying in the announcement. They're finally introducing a shelf tag photo exemption system. This has already come to my market. Let me know if it's in yours. This is huge because it addresses the biggest complaint pro shoppers have had getting dinged for items that are legitimately out of stock. Here's how it works. Step by step. When you're shopping and an item isn't available, you mark it out of stock like you normally do, but now you'll see a new prompt asking to take a photo of the empty shelf tag. This is your protection, your proof that the item is genuinely not there or wasn't there. Get close to the picture. I mean, really close. So all the text is readable. You want the UPC code visible, the item name clear, and the price tag visible. Make sure your camera lens is clean because blurry photos won't get approved. For produce or meat items, capture the clearest signage possible, whether it's the shelf tag, the bin label, or the department signage. Here's the important part. You take this photo during your shop, but it doesn't get reviewed until after you complete your dash. It's a little wacky. So today alone, I did a couple and it didn't update until I hit the end dash button and I saw my true ratings. DoorDash's system will automatically analyze these photos, and yes, it is AI doing the review, not a human. And if the photo confirms the item was legitimately out of stock, it gets excluded from your original items found rating entirely. It's like the item never even existed on the order. You can check which items were approved by going to your shopper rating section in the app, and then you can actually go into original items found, and then you can find it in there. Now, there is a catch. Always a catch. Items without shelf tags can still count against you. So if you're shopping at a store with poor signage, the tag is missing, or it's a handwritten label that's unclear, you're still going to take the hit. Or if the item isn't there at all and the grocery store just doesn't carry it. I have a specialty market by me that a lot of things that are online aren't available in the store. The 96% threshold does include a buffer for these situations, but it's tighter than before. To me, a lot of this doesn't make sense because just my experience alone today, I went to a grocery store and they were out of bananas of all things. What grocery store is out of bananas? But they were. So I took a picture of the shelf tag and showed the picture of the empty thing of bananas, and it still counted against me. So another thing that was a little wacky today that I noticed is I had a bag of chips, and because of the holiday, it was like 20% more, but it was still the original item. Well, they didn't count that as me choosing the correct item. I got dinged for that item under the original items found, even though that's what the customer actually requested. There's a lot of wacky things that can possibly happen that could really bring your percentage down. You have to be careful and take clear pictures. So this whole new program, you have a couple of days to start getting your metrics up. If you didn't know about this, your status is based off of your most 40 recent shop and deliver orders. So the more you shop, the faster your old ratings cycle out and you get replaced with the new ones under this new system. If you're currently at like 94%, you need to get to 96%. You do 2 to 3 shops per day. You could cycle through 40 orders in about a week to 2 weeks, depending on how many you take, and get back to your pro status. But if you only shop like once or twice per week, you might have enough orders in the next couple of days to get to pro shopper, but you can still make your way there. All right, let me break down why this change isn't all bad and might actually help you long term. First, ratings are becoming way more accurate. No more getting penalized because your local grocery store was out of a specific brand of cereal during a supply chain shortage. The photo evidence protects you from situations completely out of your control. I've personally dropped in my original items found a lot of times before even Pro Shopper was there because the store was completely out of like organic milk, or during right now the holidays are coming up and they're low in stock and a lot of stuff for like Thanksgiving or Christmas items. That won't happen anymore if you document it properly. Second, it's actually easier to maintain your pro shopper status now if you're doing everything you possibly can right. Before, you could lose status because legitimate out-of-stock items totally counted against you. Now, as long as you're documenting properly, those don't really count, but it's going to be up to whether the shelf tag is really there. The shoppers who are already finding 96% of the items, you're golden. This change rewards consistency and good shopping habits. Third, that 96% threshold still has a built-in buffer. You can miss 4 out of every 100 items and still qualify. For most orders of 20 to 30 items, that's still room for 1 to 2 genuine mistakes. For most orders of 20 to 30 items, that's still room for 1 to 2 genuine mistakes or missing shelf tags per order. That's actually pretty reasonable, somewhat, when you think about it. I guess it's going to depend on your shop and how well it really goes. Fourth, this raises the bar for a pro shopper, which means less competition for those premium orders. If other shoppers can't adapt and lose their status, that's more high-paying batches for you if you're the pro shopper. And finally, and this is important, DoorDash is also excluding other issues automatically. If a customer requested a refund themselves, if multiple shoppers reported the same item as difficult to find, or if DoorDash suspects customer fraud, those get removed from your ratings too. So you've got multiple layers of protection right now, not just the photo system. Okay, let's be real about the downsides because they're significant and you need to know what you're up against. A 4% tighter margin is no joke. If you're hovering around like 93 to 95%, you're now in the danger zone. One bad shopping trip at a poorly stocked store with no shelf tags could drop you below that threshold. I'm talking about the Dollar Generals in the world. Those can cost you your pro shopper status. Items without shelf tags are still your biggest issue and your biggest problem. Dollar stores, small grocers, produce sections with handwritten signs, ethnic markets with minimal English signs. These are all landmines for your ratings dropping, and there's nothing that you can do about that except hope that you stay above 96%. If you get an order from a store you know has poor signage, you might want to think twice about accepting it if you have an acceptance right to give, if you're trying to maintain the tier system. And here's something DoorDash isn't emphasizing though. Perishables are harder to photograph. That meat counter with the handwritten price, that produce bin with that little teeny tiny label, getting a clear, approvable photo for those is way trickier than the standard shelf tag. You might take a photo thinking you're covered, in my case, like the bananas, only find out later it wasn't approved because AI couldn't read the sign or it was so small that they couldn't recognize it. Plus, this whole system relies on DoorDash's photo review being accurate and fair. We've all seen how the AI systems can be questionable. What happens when a legitimate shelf tag photo gets rejected because the AI misreads it? You're stuck with that ding on your rating because there's nothing that you can do. There's no appeal process at all. There's a lot of questions still unanswered that really might affect your rating that you have to think about when you're doing shops. Those situations could honestly destroy your ratings even though you're doing and taking photos and doing everything you can possible. All right, here's your game plan to help you hit or maintain that 96% starting December 8th. First, ask store staff immediately. If you can't find an item, don't waste the 5 minutes searching their handheld scanners. If they have them, we'll tell you in like 10 seconds if it's in stock. Also, my local grocery store, I can download their app and it'll tell me the aisle number. So you might want to do that as well. It might help you with some of those harder to find items. Second, check those weird spots before marking anything is out of stock, including checking behind other things. Check end caps, promotional displays, checkout counters, impulse buys near pharmacies, seasonal aisles. Stores put items in random places during sales or even holidays that you might not even think about. Always do a full store scan before just giving up. Third, master the substitution game. Hopefully get your customers to respond, even though some of them don't. Send them options of what is available. A happy customer will approve your substitution better than an unhappy customer will. And it's better to also get them to admit that they want a refund so it doesn't hit your rating. Fourth, clean your camera. I know this sounds stupid, but clean it before every shop. I'm serious. Smudges can make your shelf tag photo look unreadable and cost you that exemption. Next, get close to those photos. Be up close and personal with them. Fill your entire screen with that shelf tag. Make sure every letter and number is crystal clear. If you can't read it easily on your phone screen, DoorDash's system won't approve it. 6, learn which stores in your market have the best signage and in-stock levels. After December 8th, you might want to be selective if you can with your acceptance rate with shop and deliver orders that you accept. Obviously, don't be too picky. That'll knock you out of any tiers that you currently are in. But if you know a particular store is always out of stock or has horrible signage, the order just might not be worth it. Volume is your friend, but quality volume. The more shop and deliver orders you complete successfully with higher item counts, the faster you cycle out of your old ratings. If you're below 96 right now, you need to be shopping frequently in the next couple of days to replace some of those old orders to get your ratings to move up. Luck. I'm going to be straight with you about what's going to happen in the next couple of days. A lot of pro shoppers might lose their status. DoorDash knows this. That's why they built that transition period that we're in right now, and they're expecting people to drop out of the pro shopper status. Don't let DoorDash win on this one. The question is are you going to be one of them? Because here's the thing. Once the initial wave of shoppers loses pro status, the ones who maintain it are going to see better orders than ever before. Less competition means more premium batches for you. But as soon as you become pro shopper is as quickly as you can lose it. So let me know right now, what is your current original items found percentage, and has this come to your market? Share your experiences down in the comments section. Remember, December 8th is coming quick. It is right around the corner, and I wish everyone luck if this is coming to your market or if you're affected by this. I do a lot of DoorDash videos. No, I do DoorDash videos almost every single day. If you're looking for the next one to watch, this one is up next.